What if the person you are today is still carrying the wounds of the child you once were? What if the fears, insecurities, and self-doubts that haunt you now are not random flaws, but echoes of an inner child who was never fully seen, heard, or healed? The truth is, we all carry that younger self within us. Some bury it under layers of responsibilities, careers, and adult identities. Others feel it leak through in bursts of anger, sadness, or anxiety they can't quite explain. Healing the inner child is not just a poetic idea. It is a real and powerful practice that can transform the way you see yourself, others, and life itself. If you've ever felt like you keep repeating the same painful patterns, or that no matter how much you achieve, something inside still feels restless and incomplete, then this journey is for you. The inner child is the part of you that formed during your earliest years, when your brain was still shaping its deepest beliefs about safety, love, and worthiness. Every moment of comfort, rejection, encouragement, or neglect was written into your nervous system like code. That code became the foundation of how you relate to others, how you manage emotions, and how you define your self-worth. If that child felt unloved, you may grow into an adult who constantly seeks validation. If that child felt unsafe, you may live with chronic anxiety. If that child was silenced, you may struggle to voice your truth. Healing begins when you stop ignoring that child within and finally give them the attention they deserve long ago. The first step is recognition. Imagine a little version of yourself standing in front of you right now. What do you see in their eyes? Do they look scared, excited, lonely, or curious? For many, this visualization alone can bring tears because it reveals how much of our childhood pain we've carried silently for years. Recognition means no longer dismissing those wounds as irrelevant or in the past. The inner child doesn't live in the past. It lives in you, here and now, influencing your choices every single day. One of the most effective exercises for inner child healing is journaling, as if you are speaking directly to that younger self. Take a pen and write, "Dear little me," and then let the words flow. Tell them you see them. Tell them you hear their fears. Tell them they are safe with you now. This act of dialogue bridges the gap between who you were and who you've become. At first, it may feel strange or even silly, but over time, it creates a deep sense of wholeness. You begin to replace the critical inner voice with one that nurtures, protects, and reassures. Another powerful practice is identifying the triggers that awaken your inner child. Do you notice yourself feeling unusually defensive when criticized? Do you withdraw when you sense disapproval? Do you crave affection but fear rejection? These reactions are not random. They are the voice of your inner child asking for comfort. Instead of shaming yourself for these feelings, pause and say inwardly, "I see you. I know this hurts. I am here with you." Such compassionate self-talk might sound small, but it rewires the brain's response to stress and gradually teaches your system that you are safe. Healing the inner child is also about reparenting yourself. This means giving yourself the love, structure, and kindness you may not have consistently received in childhood. It's about asking, what does my inner child need right now? Sometimes the answer is rest. Sometimes it's creativity. Sometimes it's setting a boundary that keeps you safe. When you learn to become your own safe parent, the constant need for external approval lessens. You begin to feel grounded from within, no longer relying on others to fill the void. Let's explore an exercise rooted in self-compassion. Find a quiet space, close your eyes, and place your hand over your heart. Imagine that little child again, but this time picture yourself kneeling and hugging them. Whisper words you wish someone had told you back then. You are enough. You are loved. You don't have to earn your worth. I will never abandon you. This simple visualization can unlock emotions you didn't even realize you had locked away. Tears, warmth, or even resistance may arise, and all of it is part of the healing process. Healing doesn't happen overnight. The child within you may be suspicious at first. After all, if they were neglected or hurt before, why should they trust you now? Consistency is the key. Show up daily, even for a few minutes, with kindness. Create rituals that reinforce safety. Maybe you light a candle before journaling. Maybe you play a favorite childhood song and dance like no one's watching. These small acts are signals to your nervous system that joy and safety are allowed again. A deeper layer of inner child work involves forgiveness, but not the kind that excuses harmful behavior. Forgiveness here means releasing the grip that past wounds still hold on you. If your parents, teachers, or peers failed to give you what you needed, acknowledge that reality fully. Then choose to no longer let that pain dictate your present. Forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting. It means freeing your inner child from the prison of resentment. When you forgive, you are not letting others off the hook. You are letting yourself out of the cage. You may ask, why does this matter so much? Because until you heal the inner child, you will keep seeking in the outside world what you never received inside. You may chase relationships that replicate old wounds. You may pursue achievements that never feel like enough. You may find yourself restless, always searching but never arriving. Inner child healing interrupts that cycle. It teaches you that wholeness isn't found out there. It's found when you turn inward, hold that child's hand, and walk with them into the life you're building now. This process is not about weakness, it's about courage. It takes courage to face memories you'd rather bury. It takes strength to sit with emotions you've avoided for decades. But every time you choose healing, you reclaim another piece of yourself. You become less reactive, more compassionate, and more alive. The journey of healing the inner child is not about becoming someone new. It's about remembering who you were before the world told you otherwise. Now, let's dive into the practical exercises that can transform your inner child work from theory into real, daily practice. The first exercise is letter writing. Take a piece of paper or a journal and write a letter to your younger self. Do not censor yourself. Pour out your feelings, your regrets, your fears, and your hopes. Then, write a response from the perspective of your adult self, compassionate, wise, and protective. This dialogue bridges the gap between past and present, creating a safe inner relationship where none may have existed before. Repeat this regularly and notice how your inner critic begins to soften into a nurturing voice. The second exercise is visualization and safe space creation. Close your eyes and picture a place where your inner child feels completely safe, maybe a forest, a beach, or a cozy room. Invite your younger self into this space. Imagine holding their hand, guiding them, or simply sitting together in silence. Visualizations like this send a powerful signal to your nervous system. Safety is possible. Your body begins to release tension, and your inner child learns that it is seen and protected. With repeated practice, this inner sanctuary becomes a refuge you can access anytime life feels overwhelming. The third exercise is play and joy reconnection. One of the most overlooked aspects of inner child healing is play. Adults often suppress play, believing it frivolous or unproductive, but play awakens creativity, spontaneity, and joy, qualities that nourish the inner child. Dedicate time to activities that bring you delight without expectation or goal. Draw, dance, build, or explore a hobby that fascinated you as a child. By doing so, you signal to your inner child that life can be fun, safe, and vibrant. Play is therapy, and it is also reclamation. The fourth exercise is reparenting through affirmations. Create a list of affirmations that your inner child needed to hear growing up. Phrases like, "You are safe," "You are worthy of love," or "It's okay to feel" can be repeated daily. Stand in front of a mirror and speak these words directly to yourself. Feel the weight of the affirmation as if it is landing on that younger version of you who never got to hear it. Over time, these affirmations rewire the brain and build a foundation of self-trust and confidence. The fifth and final exercise is emotional release rituals. Inner child wounds are often stored in the body as tension, anxiety, or unexplained sadness. Journaling, crying, screaming into a pillow, or moving your body through intense exercise can help release trapped emotions. Label the feelings. I feel hurt. I feel angry. I feel scared. By acknowledging and expressing these emotions, you stop the cycle of suppression and give your inner child the validation it craves. Emotional release is not indulgence. It is acknowledgement, and acknowledgement is healing. Consistency is key. You might feel resistance at first. Your inner child may not trust the exercises or may demand distraction instead. That is normal. Healing is gradual. Commit to even 5 or 10 minutes a day with one of these exercises and gradually increase the time as comfort grows. Small, consistent steps lead to profound transformation. Now, imagine a life where your inner child feels seen, heard, and loved, where you no longer chase external validation to fill old wounds, where your reactions are guided by awareness, not by unconscious triggers. This is what inner child healing can bring: freedom from repetitive patterns, relief from anxiety, and an ability to experience life with presence, joy, and authenticity. Another key aspect is integration with mindfulness. As you practice inner child work, notice when your adult self falls into old defensive patterns. Observe without judgment. Each time you pause and consciously respond instead of react, you reinforce the bond between your present self and your inner child. You teach both parts that life can be approached with curiosity, patience, and love. It's also important to understand that relationships change as a result of this work. When your inner child is healed, you stop projecting old wounds onto others. Conflict diminishes, empathy grows, and connections deepen. You will find yourself more patient, more grounded, and more compassionate because you are no longer seeking others to repair what only you can nurture. Healing the inner child also improves self-discipline. Many adult habits, overeating, overworking, addiction, avoidance, are attempts to soothe unmet childhood needs. As you reconnect with and nurture your inner child, these behaviors gradually lose power. You gain clarity, focus, and self-respect. Daily tasks no longer feel like obligations to survive, but as conscious choices aligned with your values and emotional well-being. So let me leave you with this. What small step can you take today to comfort your inner child? Could it be writing a letter, creating a safe space, dancing like no one's watching, speaking affirmations, or simply sitting with your feelings? Whatever it is, do it fully and with presence. The act of showing up for yourself is more powerful than any therapy session, book, or advice. The journey of inner child healing is ongoing. Each time you practice, you deepen your connection to yourself. You reclaim lost parts of your identity. You break cycles that have carried pain across decades. And slowly, you begin to live not just as a functional adult, but as a whole, integrated human being. Someone capable of love, joy, creativity, and resilience. Now I want to hear from you. Which inner child exercise resonates most, and how do you plan to implement it today? Share your experiences and thoughts in the comments. I would love to know how your journey unfolds. Remember, your inner child is not a liability. It is a source of profound wisdom, creativity, and authenticity. Protect them, nurture them, and allow yourself to be fully present for every emotion, every longing, every joy. The more you honor that younger self, the more vibrant, free, and alive your adult life becomes. Healing your inner child is not just therapy. It is the path to reclaiming yourself. If this video inspired you, don't forget to like it and subscribe to the channel for more insights into psychology, self-development, and emotional healing. Your future self will thank you for the care, attention, and love you show your inner child today.